Taped from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
And I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
Hey, Darren, how you doing?
I'm good. Hey, happy Hanukkah. We're recording on the first day of Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, yeah.
Yeah, so happy Hanukkah to all our Jewish listeners out there.
Yes.
Shalom, L'chaim. What?
How did a black man sound that white?
It's a gift.
Okay.
It's a gift, you know. We all have our talents.
All right, yes.
Yeah, and the holidays are upon us. Christmas Day is soon shall be here. You excited? You jazzed for it? You pumped? Your stockings are hung by the chimney with care? Okay. Oh, wow.
You?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel very Christmassy this year.
It doesn't. We were supposed to get like this big snowstorm this week, and it really just turned into rain. And yeah. I'm just not feeling it yet.
Yeah, rain isn't very Christmassy. You don't.
It isn't.
No one wants no one's dreaming of a wet Christmas.
No, that honestly, it sounds like a Pornhub search.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, maybe I shouldn't put my business out there in the street like that.
Okay.
But yeah, porn searches aside, we should probably. We gotta talk about the big news that dropped last night before we talk about last night's episode. Because
what big news dropped last night?
Oh, did you not hear?
I hear a lot of things.
Okay, all the voices in your head.
Yeah,
but no, I'm talking about the Cecily Strong news.
Oh yes,
Remember
her
that?
leaving the show. Yeah, just a few hours before the show, you actually texted me about this last night. The official SNL Twitter account tweeted out like, "Tonight we are saying goodbye to one of the all-time greats," and there was a big cue card that said, "We will miss you, Cecily." So
yeah, like I saw this, because I'm always kind of checking social media from time to time.
You got your finger on the pulse.
Yeah, I know what's going on out here in these streets, John.
Yeah,
as they say. And it was one of those things where I was just kind of scrolling through Facebook, just kind of lazily, and I saw the article saying Cecily Strong is leaving Saturday Night Live. Tonight's show is her final show, and I was like, what? And it's like one of those things. Like whenever I see something like that, I always try to verify it. I always make sure before I share it. I always want to make sure I'm not spreading fake news.
Right. So, but it was on Variety, you said, so that's a fairly reliable source.
Yeah. Then I saw it on Variety. Then I saw a Hollywood Reporter came out, and then I checked Twitter and I saw that the NBC official Saturday Night Live Twitter handle put up on Instagram and Twitter that this was Cecily's last show, and I was like, wow, that I did not see that coming.
I had kind of expected that this was going to be her last season because it just kind of felt like it. And she'd been making noises the last few years about whether she was going to stay or whether she was go. And she'd reached a point where it was entirely her choice. If she wanted to stay, Lauren would let her stay. And if she decided to go, they let her go. It's just kind of surprising. She missed what? Like the first 3 episodes of this season, I think?
Yeah, and that's what made me. Yeah, that's what made me think that she wasn't gonna leave until maybe, April or May when the whole season was over, because she just missed the first few episodes. So it's like for her to miss the first few episodes, come back to the show, and just to leave it. I don't know, that kind of didn't make sense to me.
And last night's episode was the 9th episode of the season, so she did a total of 6 episodes this season. So it's just kind of like a little postscript season for her. Which is interesting. It's very weird when you find out that that's happening on the day. I remember that happening like back in the 90s when Sherry Stringfield left ER, and she was like my big TV crush at the time. And I found out on that day, a friend of mine was like, "Oh yeah, it's her last episode tonight," and I was like, "What?" And she's being written out, and I was like, "No."
Yeah, that was.
So,
oh boy, yeah. So,
no time to mentally prepare. I mean, I was a little mentally prepared for this because I figured this was probably going to be her last season, but it was, still surprising.
Yeah, like I kind of thought this would be her last season too. Like if she left in April or May, I would be like, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been 11 years, so it definitely feels like the right time. But for her
yeah.
to leave mid season, I was
I
like,
mean,
wow.
that's unusual for anybody. Usually, it is somebody leaves at the end of the season, no matter what. And I can't really. Surely this has happened before, but
It
I can't
has.
think of anybody offhand.
Let me see if I can find somebody. But yeah, like I have, it has happened before. People left mid season, but
Hmm.
it's more common to leave, at the end of the season. I'd
Right.
say for sure. So yes, Cecily Strong final episode was last night. I don't know, John, like your thoughts, like how do you feel about this?
Well, I mean,
What in your mind? What is the legacy, the history of Cecily?
oh Lord, that's.
She was
Well, let me
born.
sum up the entire 11 years of Cecily Strong on SNL.
She was
And
born in Illinois in 19. It was a cloudy day.
I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, what can you say? I mean, we one of the things we keep saying on this show is that Cecily Strong, she lives up to her last name. She really is one of the strongest cast members. She's become a favorite of both of ours. I think
Yes,
we're always.
absolutely.
I mean, she just like pretty much always hits it out of the park. She's so versatile, has so many characters, so many impressions. Um, like how the voiceovers that she does on the commercial parodies, like probably
Yeah.
8 times out of 10, it's Cecily doing those. So I'm really going to miss her on those.
Yeah, no,
Um,
like I rewatched the one of my favorites Christmas sketches, the Lexus December to Remember, and
mhm.
yeah, you clearly hear her voice.
Yeah,
The J.C. Penney holiday ad they did,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that was her too. Yeah, she's in a lot of voiceover work too, so
yeah,
that's gonna be a huge bummer.
yeah. And it's, I mean, I think she was great. She was a versatile sketch performer. She had a fair number of recurring characters, and I mean, she was the go-to person for imitating crazy right-wing ladies. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Janine Pyro or Piro.
yeah.
Who is that? Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe they gave her.
Uh-huh.
All the other horrible, horrible, crazy Fox News ladies
Yeah,
throughout
yeah.
the years.
She
That I,
did the majority of them, and she had characters like Gemma and the girl you wish you hadn't started a conversation with at the party. And I mean, she was even a Weekend Update anchor for a hot minute, and I thought she did a really nice job on Weekend Update. But she seemed to very quickly decide that it wasn't for her, and she was
yeah,
like, "I'll be happier doing sketches." And yeah, I mean, good for her for realizing that quickly. But I was sorry to see her leave the update desk.
yeah. Like I think ultimately it was the better move that she
Yeah.
like focused on her sketches because, like you said, she had like a ton of great reoccurring characters. I mean, even early on, like if you remember the old the girlfriends talk show she did with
Hmm.
Edie back in the
Oh
day.
yeah. Right.
If you remember the ex porn stars she did with Vanessa Bayer way
Yeah.
back in the day.
That was
That,
great. That was great.
yeah, that was always a home run. And
You're
it's
not porn stars anymore. And yeah,
yeah,
and just all the mispronunciation. I mean, she's been on long enough that she has done characters that we may have forgotten at this point.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so
yeah. I mean, those were like the major ones I believe of, and
yeah,
of course, Carrie Ann, which of course we'll get into
you
later.
reprised last night. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
and it's just wow. It's like she really was in a lot of ways sort of like the bedrock of the show. Like she kind of proved like I mean maybe in her time she maybe was. I mean I guess you could say she was a little overshadowed by Kate McKinnon and whatnot,
yeah,
but I do think like t- especially towards the end people start to realize oh wait no she's actually no pun
yes.
intended like the strong one of the strongest if not the strongest performers on the show.
I mean, if yeah, like I would easily put her in my top 10 cast members. I think. Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's high praise.
yeah. So yeah, I'm really gonna miss her. I feel like she's gonna leave a hole in the show. I mean, but that's just because she's so good. It's tough to debate that it does feel like it's probably time for her to leave because she's doing other things like Schmigadoon, and she did the Search for Life The Search for Signs of Intelligent Life in the Universe, a revival of that. She did that both on Broadway and out in the West Coast, which is why she missed the beginning of the season.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it'll be very interesting to see what she goes on to next.
Yeah, no, I mean, at this point, like, she's everybody knows how good she is as a performer. She is beloved. She has a audience, and I think at this point the world's pretty much her oyster. Like, I think she could
Mm-hmm.
pretty much do whatever she wants to do, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it'll really something. I'm expecting big things from her. Like, I believe Shmigadoon is going to come back for a second season. Like, last I heard it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, other than that, like, I mean, I don't know. Sky's the limit for her, as far as I can see.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just so much talent.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
she was like, she just, I don't know, she just had like so much A game, and of course, she was able to get personal with things like Goober the Clown, which pretty
yeah,
much rocked the internet when it came out, and it's just, I don't know, there was just, she really does have it all. So like, I'm looking forward to whatever she has coming up next.
yeah. I mean, she's definitely someone to keep your eye on. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, and then after all that, let's get into this episode, my friend. Let's
get into the episode.
start.
We kind of talked around it, but this was season 48, episode 9. Austin Butler hosting, Lizzo as the musical guest stepped in kind of last minute to substitute for the Yeah Yeah Yeahs when someone in the group got COVID, right?
No, it's the guitarist Nick Zinner. He is recovering from pneumonia.
Oh, that
I
was
believe.
it. Okay, I knew it was
Yeah,
something medical related. But
yeah,
anyway, this was a show from December 17th, 2022. So it's our last show of the calendar year, 2022.
yeah. Exciting stuff. All right, so let's shall we dive in, good sir,
Let's dive in.
on this, the final episode of the year, the final episode of Cecily Strong. A lot of emotions. Emotions
So
running
many
high.
emotions.
So many feelings.
We start out with the Trump NFTs cold open with James Austin Johnson returning as Donald Trump. And that was probably one of the big news stories of this week. Maybe the biggest is like Trump said early in the week, he was like, I've got a major announcement. And, he'd already announced he was running for president again. So everyone's like, whoa, what's going on? And then it comes out the next day and he's selling these NFTs of himself for $99. It's
Yeah.
How do you parody that? How do you satirize that?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I think at this, even I mean, I don't watch Fox News or anything, but like, I even from what I heard and what I've seen briefly, even people who support him are like, what are you
What the
doing here,
fuck
man?
are you doing, dude? Yeah. No, I mean, the thing I heard or I read that it makes a lot of sense is that apparently this is some sort of money laundering scheme.
That tracks.
Yeah. Um,
I don't even doubt it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
because
it.
apparently if it's like he's charging $99 for these things, and if but there's a ceiling on how many you can buy, and that ceiling keeps it below $10,000, and if it's any sort of transaction above $10,000, like the Federal Trade Commission starts looking into it.
Okay.
So he's
Yeah.
just squeaking by, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It all tracks.
It he'll sell you an NFT, but you will get one at random. You can't even pick out which one you like.
Yeah. I think even James Austin Johnson said like this seems like a scam, and in many ways it is.
Yes, yes. And he's saying like, "Oh, you can pick anything out of this nice box," and he pulls out a box that's marked classified. Um, we surprisingly see Mikey Day come back as Donald Trump Jr., his third least embarrassing child.
Yeah, yeah. Surprised. Yeah, because like I thought, oh, have the two of them ever been in a sketch together? I think they kind of have been in
No,
a
I
sketch.
mean, because he always did Donald Trump Jr. with Alex Moffat doing Eric, and they were just such a double act there. They just kind of retired those guys after
Right.
Trump left office, and then Alex left the show. So no, I think this is the first time that Mikey's appeared as Donald Trump Jr. with James Austin Johnson's Trump.
Hmm. Yeah, it really surprised. Like when Mikey came out, I was like, oh, they haven't been in a sketch together as Trump Jr. and Trump, have they?
I don't
Huh.
think so. No.
I was like, it kind of surprised me. And yeah, and then we also had Again, Cecily Strong coming out as Kimberly Guilfoyle. Again, another
Hmm.
crazy right wing lady. That's her
I'd
wheelhouse.
either forgotten or I never knew that she was engaged to Donald Trump Jr. I had to like look that up to make sure that was a real thing. And yeah, apparently it is a real thing.
Yeah, I think it was. I knew it, and then I immediately pushed it right out of my brain for more important information to be stored.
Exactly, exactly. Which is literally any other information.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we also had Trump do his little rundown style, which just kind of scarily apes how freeform the man's thought process is.
Yeah.
I like the line he says, like that he was visited by three ghosts, four if you count Epstein. Uh, that just they just slip that in there, and wow, that's great. Um,
Yeah. Even I think people in the audience were like, "Ooh,
yeah, yeah.
oh my."
I also like the line, I've got four kids too, five if you include Tiffany. Um,
Uh, Tiffany.
so I mean, this was pretty good. Um,
Yeah, I thought this was all right for the most part. It is interesting because I think we've said before we're in this era where people like James Dawson Johnson has this amazing Trump impression, but no one really wants to hear from Trump or about Trump
yeah.
anymore. But like
Mhm.
I guess they keep finding new ways for us to, be okay with it and really, and because he has this great impression, and it'd be a shame just to like waste it. But
Mhm.
again, but like I think it's a thing where they realize everybody's kind of sick of Trump, so they kind of put Trump on the back burner for a few episodes,
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
they use him more sparingly in the Trump. So it's
yeah,
not we're
yeah.
not as inundated with it as we once were before, which I think is the smart way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Something that really jumped out at me when I was rewatching the sketch this morning was he uses a lot of prosthetics for his Trump impression. It seems like maybe more than he needs, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, because I mean the man is a chubby melting candle, so you have to
Yes.
have like, the jowls and the hair and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bags under the
I don't know. I
eyes.
was just watching it and I was thinking like, man, back in the 70s, like Chevy Chase literally just walked out as himself and he's like, I'm Gerald Ford.
Yeah,
And it's just like we've gone from that to like these movie quality prosthetics. It's just kind of weird.
yeah. Like I even remember like Dan Aykroyd did a Jimmy Carter impression, and like it was basically just Dan Aykroyd coming out as Dan even had like a mustache at the
He
time.
had a mustache. He didn't even powder his hair.
He didn't even bother to. Yeah, he didn't shave the mustache off or nothing. He just came out
Yeah,
like, "Hey, Jimmy Carter, what's up?"
yeah. Like I guess it was in the Reagan years that makeup came in for doing the president, and I mean
Yeah.
even Dana Carvey didn't do that much. I think he basically just had a wig and glasses. I don't remember him doing any makeup stuff.
Uh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, yeah, like when Dana Carvey was George Bush Senior, like he
Yeah,
didn't look that much like the old Bush.
yeah. I mean he was just an exaggeration. It's just a weird thing. I was like, does he need that much? I don't know if he does. But anyway, I like that the cold open was just focused on the Trump NFT story, and they didn't try to like hit on like four or five other stories because that hardly ever works for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, I mean, I've always said this. Like, when they focus on one thing and they don't do that thing where they try to hop around and touch on every thing that happened that week, that's when it's at its strongest. Just focus on one thing, make all the jokes about that one thing, and you're good. Like, I'd rather
Mhm.
have like a handful of mediocre jokes about one thing than like 100 different, like not that great jokes about 100 different other things. Just focus, baby, focus.
Right, right. So, all right. Anyway, moving on. Austin Butler's monologue.
Monologue,
Um,
monologue. Yeah, Austin Butler comes out, blazer, no shirt, like a
mhm.
like a true G,
That's
and
a thing that only like young Hollywood actors can pull off. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, like my tubby ass can't pull that shit off.
yeah, I can't go to a party like that. I mean, no,
No,
people would be
absolutely
like, "Oh, this who the fuck is this tool?"
not. Exactly.
And I'd have to shave my chest, and it's a whole thing.
Or
Um,
wax it. I mean, it's a
yeah,
whole thing.
it's a
Uh,
whole thing.
oh, actually, real quick, I'll just go back and say the cold open, written by Mike DeScenzo, Allison Gates, and Ken Sublette.
Oh, thank you. Forgot that.
Yep,
Forgot that.
I
And I
did too.
have the writers list up too. And we'll just say it now, as long as we're talking writers. Monologue, Mike DiCenzo and Jake Nordwin wrote this. Um, the monologue, I thought it was just a really meandering monologue. It seemed to jump all over, and it felt like they just assembled it from random things that Austin Butler said over the course of the week. You know?
It's that's very possible. I mean, it did seem very random, but I think it gave a it gave a good way to sort of introduce the world to Austin Butler because again, a ton of people do not know who he is.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
uh,
he's known for the Elvis movie, and I think that's about it. He was also on Nickelodeon as a young or a kid actor.
yeah, yeah. I'm looking at now. He was on Hannah Montana. He was on iCarly. He was on Zoe 101. What else was he? Wizards of Waverly Place. So he was like a kid
Okay.
actor. Then as he got older, he did like a few things. He was in that movie, The Bling Ring, with that came out years ago. I believe he was also in the last Quentin Tarantino movie, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
let me see. Yep, he
I don't.
played Tex Watson.
Who was that? Was that one of the people at the Manson
Uh,
family or something?
I think it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Yeah, I
So,
haven't seen it since it was out. So
but yeah, he is in that movie, and yeah,
okay,
he's done a few other things too. Like he was on that TV show, The Carrie Diaries, where it was
right.
like the Sex and the
The
City teens.
prequel. Yeah.
Yeah. So like he's done some stuff, but yeah, for the most part, most people are getting introduced to him through the Elvis films, and
Right.
I
So
think
I
the
mean, yeah, he comes out. He talks about we've got a foolproof plan to ensure no one gets COVID because we stopped testing. He
you
talks
know,
about since he played Elvis, he's got a deeper, gravelly voice. He talks about being on the Nickelodeon shows. He talks about being homeschooled, his crippling shyness, and he does a Gollum impression. That's a lot of stuff to hit on
yeah,
in one monologue. You know?
it is it's a lot. Like but again, like I think I what they were trying to do was like introduce him to us and get it, and also like endear him to us in
Hmm.
a way. Like he talked about how he was like super shy and he
Right.
was homeschooled, so he's also weird.
Yeah.
And like
Um,
he grew up in Anaheim, and he was really close to his mom, who unfortunately passed away. So like
yeah.
they were doing like a lot to sort of be
Trying
like,
to get the audience's sympathies on his side, I guess. Yeah.
yes, very much so. Like because like you see him, you think, oh, he's some tall, handsome son of a bitch, whatever. But
Yeah.
then he
And,
sort
and
of
he's got no shirt on under his suit, so already
yeah
I hate him.
yeah he had the voice as deep as like
The voice does seem like a bit of a put on. And honestly, like when I watched the teasers for this week, he was so low energy. And I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, this doesn't bode well."
I saw that tweet you put out, like,
Yeah.
and when I looked at the promos, I was like, "Oh, he is kind of." Is this going to be like another like Kristen Stewart thing where
Yeah.
it gets kind of whatever? But I will admit, like throughout the show, he did pick up the energy quite a
Yeah,
bit.
he did. I will say that he exceeded my expectations somewhat. So,
Yes.
yeah. All right, on to the first sketch.
On to the first sketch. Let's do it.
The phrase that pays, as they describe it right at the top, they say, "This is Wheel of Fortune with no wheel." So that tells you right there.
Right.
It's, so yeah, game show sketch. You know how they do.
Yeah. We got James Austin Johnson as the host. Contestants are Austin Butler, Heidi, and Punky.
Yes. And did you watch the show live last night? Because there was a little camera screw up early on.
Yes, I did watch it last night. I did notice there was one point where the camera was on Punky, but Heidi was talking.
Yeah.
That's that happens. It seems like it happens quite a bit these days.
Well, I mean, they did correct it for Peacock and on YouTube. I'm assuming, of
Yes,
course,
yes, they
and
did.
I'm sure that was just like a quick edit. But yeah, it is pretty exceptional when you see that, and I guess they are getting a little more frequent these days.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on there, guys? What's happening?
I don't know. I don't know. Um, so how to describe the sketch? Yeah, it's basically like they're guessing words and phrases from just like the few letters, just like on Wheel of Fortune. Punky's character guesses "mama" for everything. Even though it can't possibly be mama. And Austin's character is solving the puzzles constantly. He gets Hotel California from just a T in the middle of the first word.
Yeah, like I mean, that's a thing. Like I kind of real. like I thought there would be like a whole twist as to how he's able to guess the phrase correctly just with one letter.
Hmm.
And yeah, that twist never there was he's just
He just
lucky.
was, yeah, preternaturally good at the game. um, and at one point he's even like, "Oh, gee, I have no idea what this is. You know what? I give up." And then it's exactly what he just said. Honestly, this sketch kind of grew on me when I rewatched it this morning. I thought it had some nice absurd touches to it. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where I can see if it some parts it kind of felt like underwritten, like why
mhm.
is he able to get it so quickly? They never came up with a reason for that. But I think a lot of the energy that Heidi and even Austin was bringing to
Yeah,
it kind of and James Austin Johnson and Punky, of course. But
yeah.
like the energy kind
So
of
basically, everyone who is on stage.
yes. I don't want to single any one person out.
Okay, okay.
But like they were able to save it a bit for me. You know,
Yes,
like the way Heidi always guessed the letter X,
yeah.
and it was never
And
there.
like Punky is like, "Oh, I've got a B, but I'm saving it." Like she can only has one chance to guess a B. I liked that, and yeah. So like I said, it grew on me when I rewatched it. This was, by the way, written by Jake Nordwind and Kent Sublett. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, decent start so far. Decent start to
yeah,
the show.
yeah. Decent enough. I don't know if I would have let off the show with it, but yeah, what the hell? It's Christmas. I'm feeling charitable.
Oh, look at you! And then
Uh,
the Trumbull's heart grew 5 times that night.
that's right. I'm not giving those Christmas presents back though. I stole them from Whoville, fair and square.
That's right. Finders keepers.
I mean, it's work crawling down chimneys.
Damn straight. From
My
what I
dog
hear. I
needs
mean,
new antlers. Okay.
yeah.
So next we had a pre-tape called "A Christmas Epiphany," which is basically an "It's a Wonderful Life" parody with Austin as the George Bailey type character, Mikey as the bartender, who's also his guardian angel, and he's Austin's just despairing about how bad his life is. And then he goes to look in the window of a happy family. He sees Andrew Dismukes and his wife Heidi there with Marcelo and Sarah as the kids, and he's just kind of bemoaning that
Yeah.
they have that simple, happy family life, and he does not.
Right, because like, I think in the beginning of the sketch, the bartender Mikey Day is like, "Hey, why don't you have anybody to be with this on Christmas? What about your girlfriend Denise?" And
Yeah,
he was like, "I don't need her. No woman can tie me down. I'm a lone wolf."
yeah,
And then he looks in the window of a family having dinner, and he's like, this is beautiful. I should have get back with Denise. What's wrong with me?" And
right.
of course, as we see him having this big epiphany, this breakthrough, then we cut to inside the house, and the family is terrified because a perverted man is looking inside their window at them.
Yeah, she's like, "There's a man staring at us through the window," and and Dismukes is just like, "Oh, he's just trying to freak us out. That's how he gets off."
Yeah, and it's Heidi just prodding Dismuke, saying,
Yeah,
"Go handle it, be a man to
yeah.
protect his family." And
And then
Dismuke,
like finally we find out that she's like, "Well, this is why I did that thing that I did last summer." And the kids are like, "What did you do, Mom?" And he says, "Your mother stepped outside our marriage."
yeah, it,
And it's all the funnier because like they made Heidi up to look exactly like Donna Reed at the end of "It's a Wonderful Life." Like she's got the right wig, she's got the same dress with the lacy top thing, the collar, and I mean
yeah, the little
this was very funny. I thought.
yeah, no, it's very good. And of course, the whole thing is shot in black and white.
Hmm.
And so then, like inside we see the family, we see Dismuse just not wanting to be confrontational, and tell Austin Butler's character to beat it.
Yeah,
I think at one point, then we see the bartender come visit uh, uh, Austin Butler's character, and
right.
like, of course, he's pleading with him to, make his life better, and
And he's got his angel wings, and Austin Butler like kneels in front of him, so from the angle of the family, it looks like
you.
oral favors are being performed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no, kids, don't look.
Yeah.
um,
Oh, jingle bells.
so I mean, it was just this just got so wonderfully absurd. This was written by Andrew Dismukes and sketch of the night for me, 100%.
Yeah, I dug this one. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty great. I don't know. It definitely captured that cool, tone of "It's a Wonderful Life" and movies of that ilk. And
Yeah.
this one got some good laughs out of me, and I think this is when I started to realize, like, oh, this Austin Butler guy, like he's pretty funny. Like I think like
Yeah.
any worries I may have had before this are starting to slowly melt away. Where it's like, all right, maybe he's not the stiff man I thought he'd be like from the promos.
Yeah, like I said, he was exceeding my expectations. I don't know if I want him to come back, but he did a good job with this.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So next we have Marzipan,
Marzipan.
which, if you want to summarize the sketch, just say Marzipan a whole lot.
Yeah, this sketch was
You'll get the idea.
this was an odd one.
That's the nicest way to put it. Yes.
Yeah, so it's basically this one has Keenan in it,
Yeah.
and a bunch of kids: Chloe, Marcelo, Sarah, Bowen, and Austin, dresses almost like the Von Trapp kids,
Yeah.
and they're constantly singing about the marvel that is marzipan, which is
A paste with the flavor of nuts and the texture of nuts.
yeah.
And
I mean, I know of marzipan, but I don't think I've ever had it. It's basically, from what they say, it's like a German candy that is, I don't know. I guess it's a acquired taste. I guess it's the best way to put
I,
it.
I don't know. I don't have much to say about this one. I couldn't bring myself to rewatch it this morning because I thought it was awful.
Uh,
I just it reminded me of that Joker wedding sketch from a few weeks back where Andrew Dismukes just said "Jokers" a whole lot, and it's just
yeah,
yeah. I'm not too entertained by them saying the same word over and over. You know?
yeah. I mean, it had a few good lines here and there, like "Oh, marzipan, you can almost taste the taste." And
Yeah.
I think at one point they bring in Longfellow, who comes in as a German baker, who's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yes,
He's making another batch. Yeah.
I'm making marzipan," and he's like, he tasted to see if it's ready. He's like, "Yuck, it's ready." I It has a few good parts here and there, but I did feel like it went on a little too long. Like I feel like
Yes.
if you
Like beyond 10 seconds.
wow, wow. I mean, I think you could have definitely shaved off a minute or two of this. Like it does kind of
Or 3 or
or
4.
three.
Yeah.
I think it does kind of meander. I do enjoy that they leaned into the silliness and absurdity of it, like
They
where
did.
when they both say when they go down the line and all the kids say marzipan and they cut to Bone, who just like screams in frustrated horror, I guess, because he loves marzipan so much. I thought that's a choice. But yeah, like I feel like if they shaved this down, it could have been something. But yeah, it felt like it went on a little too long, and just it was an odd one. This was an
Yeah,
odd sketch.
it was one of those ones that's just more weird than funny or more obnoxious than funny for me. I mean, I just
Yeah, maybe and of course he ended it with a song and dance number, which I
mhm.
feel like is kind of their go-to whenever they don't know how to end a sketch, because they feel like, oh,
Mhm.
sing a song, do a dance, and people will find that charming, and that'll kind of could be a nice way to wrap this all up. And I was like, yeah, I guess, but you could also just shorten this shit up, and
Yeah, yeah.
and that's a good way too to make sure
That's good.
people.
Have a big gag at the end. How about that?
Yeah, yeah, you could do that too. Stronger punchlines, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
if you want to go that route. But yeah, overall,
yeah.
like, I mean, I didn't totally hate it, but like I thought
I did.
it had a few laughs here and there, but it's just like, yeah, this is an odd one. I don't know if I'll remember this afterwards.
Yeah. By the way, just want to note we're now about a half hour into the show. So far, we've only seen Cecily in the cold open and the opening credits, and it's her last show. Just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, no dogs, no singing from Cecily yet. And
What
yeah,
kind of railroad are they running there?
I don't know, man.
All right, next we have Jewish Elvis. This was written by Dan Beulah and Sarah Sherman.
And
Takes place at the Oasis retirement home where they have their own theater. Chloe is visiting her grandmother, played by Cecily. Hey, we put her in the show. Yay.
hey,
Um,
oppa.
and Ego is there, also playing a Jewish grandmother.
I think
Or
she's just a grandma,
okay,
or
but then
maybe
there's Didn't they say it was a Jewish retirement home, or was it just like a retirement home where the majority of people are Jews?
I just heard it was like a retirement home. I didn't know if it was a
Okay.
Jew. I mean,
Okay.
black people can be Jewish. I mean, Sammy Davis, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
that's true. Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah. All
There you
right.
go.
And probably others,
yeah, shalom.
but mostly Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other black Jewish people, but like Sammy Davis, he's the one that everybody remembers. Sammy Davis
Exactly.
Jr.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we have Austin Butler in drag as Lois.
Oh boy. And then we see that they're all here to see Jewish Elvis, and
Mm-hmm.
out comes Sarah Sherman dressed up as Elvis. Wearing the
Mm-hmm.
jumpsuit, has
Yep.
the rhinestone belt with the Star of David on it.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's funny.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. Shaking
Yeah.
her hips and doing her thing, and
Right.
it's like basically it's Elvis singing songs and like sort of doing the stereotypical Jewish
Yeah,
complaining in
well,
between.
they describe it as a little bit of singing, but mostly complaining.
Yes.
Like they'll do a hip swivel, and then it's "I'm tired and my back hurts."
Yeah.
Um,
Wise men say, who are these wise men? Why are they so wise?
yeah,
It's yeah.
and Chloe's character, of course, doesn't get it, and so it's like this is a weird thing that is happening, and I'm commenting on it.
Yeah. And Austin Butler as Lois goes all in. Just like
True.
I think at one point Lois is like, "Oh my god, it's like Niagara Falls down there."
Like the character of Lois takes off her panties, throws them on stage towards Jewish Elvis. Jewish Elvis takes them and says, "I think your everything bagel has too much cream cheese on it." I am amazed they got that line on the air
Same. I was like,
because my God, man.
it's turkey waddle all over again. Ruin me, Jewish Elvis. Ruin me.
Yeah, yeah.
Whew.
This I found a little more weird than funny, honestly, and I think I am a little tired of the device of, oh, this is a weird, unusual thing, and I'm going to comment on it. So I wasn't too nuts about it, but
No.
they were
Oh,
throwing themselves into it. They seem to be having a good time. So
yeah. It's definitely like. I mean, this one pretty much leans on the performances
yeah,
and Sarah was giving this thing her all, and like
yeah.
Sarah really came to play in this one, and Austin Butler too. I mean, he was
Hmm.
like he was no slouch either. I like the line where I think Ego says, "Oh my God, this is the best night of my life," and Chloe's like, "It's 4:30 in the afternoon. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, yeah. Because old people eat dinner early.
Yeah. And I should also note this sketch was actually cut from the Miles Teller episode. This was actually supposed to be.
Okay,
This
all
was
right.
supposed to, but I honestly I feel like this was a better fit for this episode, so I'm actually pretty
Well, I mean,
glad.
we have the Elvis connection, so that I think makes it funnier.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
definitely a better fit for Austin Butler, aka the guy who played Elvis Presley.
Yeah, and as far as the sketch goes, it did take that weird turn where, like, Bowen comes out, announces that somebody broke the toilet in the handicap stall, and it was Elvis. I was like,
Right.
well, that's
Yeah, that very weird random way to end it.
it
Uh,
was, yeah. But I mean, overall, I just kind of leaned into the weirdness on this one, and I think the performances pretty much saved it. Like, I mean, Austin Butler was totally. This is the sketch where I was like, all right, Austin Butler's all in on this,
yeah, true, true.
and
He's given it his all. God bless
yeah,
him.
and I mean, and Sarah Sherman again, she's doing another sketch that's centered around her, and it's like really, I mean, it's super memorable. Like she's constantly sort of like proving that she's like the going to be or on her way to be like the new sort of shining star of SNL. I think like she always comes up with these really interesting sketches. Like the googly eyes, the meatballs, and of course the stuff on Weekend Update. She's like really kind of like her star is ascending. I think, and
I mean,
it's
she certainly does stuff that we have never seen on SNL before, and that's fun and that's exciting.
yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely,
It's always nice to get like a new type of humor on the show, and that's what you got to do if the show is going to grow and evolve and stay current.
yeah, absolutely. So it's evolution, baby.
Hmm.
So yeah, Jewish Elvis. Wowzers!
You wish Elsa.
The cream cheese
The
line,
cream
and
cheese line. I'm still reeling from that.
I mean, mother of God! Wow, wowie, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Whew! I mean,
So next,
I'm no prude, but I was like, ooh, my.
I am, and I was fanning myself and getting my smelling salts. Anyway,
Somebody think of the children.
right. So next we have our musical guest for the week, Lizzo. She did two numbers, as is the wont of musical guests on SNL. She did Someday at Christmas and Break Up Twice.
Yeah, the first song she did, "Break Up Twice," off her new album, and her second song, "Someday at Christmas," which it's weird. It says on YouTube in parentheses like Amazon Prime Original or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Which I'm
it's
trying.
like exclusive to Amazon.
Yeah, so I'm assuming maybe it's a song that she did on her that show she has on Amazon. But from what I was able to see, this song is actually an old Stevie Wonder song that was on his first Christmas album back in 1967.
Okay, all right. Well,
So
I mean that's the type of thing that you do for something that's exclusive to one streaming service. You do a cover of a cool song,
yeah,
and then yeah,
yeah, and
that's not too surprising.
I think also because she hosted and musical guested back in April, and she already did songs off her new album back then.
Yeah,
I think even last week I was like, all right, well, what is she gonna do now? And she
yeah,
just ended up doing one more song off the new album, and she did like a nice little Christmas cover. So I was like, that's probably the best way to
yeah.
do it.
I mean that's a good way to do it, and especially since she came in on short notice, because the when did the Yeah Yeah Yeahs drop out? It was like
We
Monday they announced that.
Yeah, I mean, we knew about it last Saturday
Oh, we did. Okay.
because like when they because like during the Steve Martin Short episode, they said, oh, next week Austin Butler and Lizzo. That's when
Oh, that's
everybody
right. Yeah, because they announced it like a few weeks ahead, of course. Okay,
right, right,
okay.
right.
I was thinking they'd announced it as a Yeah Yeahs, and then they canceled.
Yeah,
No,
no,
you're right.
no. We all found out like
We
officially.
all found out as a nation
Yes,
during the Steve Martin Short.
we as a nation found out
Yes.
then.
All right.
So yeah, I mean the performances I think were solid. She kept it very simple for the most part. Her first performance, it was like her waking up out of bed, and then she walked
I
into the
thought
mic.
wasn't that the second?
No, no, the first one was "Break Up Twice" for sure.
That when she was in the white thing, the white dress.
Yes, yes, that
Okay.
was the first one,
All
and
right.
yeah, and they were both basically pretty standard. Just her on a microphone singing, her band behind her, backup singers behind her, and yeah, the whole no dancers, not nothing
She didn't
flashy.
play her flute at all.
No, no flute. She could
Yeah.
no sans flute, all voice, all
Yeah.
pipes. And yeah, as far as I thought it was pretty, they were both pretty great performances. She has a great
They
voice.
were. They were. I'm just at this point, I'm just a little tired of Lizzo on SNL. So I've gotten my fill of her.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I think this was like a last minute,
Yeah.
call into play, and I guess I had to figure out well who's in town that could do this whole thing at the last minute, and I guess they
Right.
just
I
thought,
mean, they needed somebody reliable and somebody
yeah,
they liked and
yeah,
popular and who's a good match for the host and all that. I totally see why it happened.
yeah,
Um, I think all things being equal, they probably wouldn't have brought her back again this soon. So
yeah, that's true. I think it was just more of a timing thing.
yeah, yeah, and shit happens.
Yep. Oh, it does. Does it ever?
All right, move on to weekend update, sir.
Yes, let's move on to Weekend Update with Michael, Che, and Colin Jost.
Oh, you reversed their billing.
I I did that by accident, and I just went with it.
Okay, all right.
Called improv, baby.
I won't tell anyone.
That's all right.
Your secret is safe with me, Darren Patterson.
Keep that on the low.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, Colin Jost, Michael Che.
Yeah. Jost, Che, jokes, jokes, jokes.
Jokes, jokes, jokes. They of course talked about the Trump NFTs. I liked Colin's line. I'm just relieved he's wearing an American military uniform. That was good.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid line.
He's a traitor to our country and sells us out to our enemies. For fun.
Yay! Oh, good.
I liked when Che he led into a story about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and he just says, "And let's just face it, she's absolutely my type." That was great.
Che's good. Che's good.
I mean, that was. I don't even really remember what the joke was after that. I was just like, that's really funny.
I like that. Yeah, I think I also like the line Colin Jost had about how Trump is getting into NFTs now after the market totally crashed. It's
Mm-hmm.
like getting into Kanye West now, which
Right.
which in a way
Which he
Trump.
also did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, not too many jokes this episode on this weekend update because we had three, count them, three death segments, death pieces.
Let me count them. One, two, three. Yep. Your story checks out. Three death
Right,
segments. Yep.
the math checks out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We crunched the numbers. Math checks
Yep.
out.
So we had Boeing as Krampus on kidnapping naughty children, and Krampus is he's like this Christmas monster in Germanic countries or like Eastern European countries.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know much. I've heard the name Krampus. I know there's like a movie
Mm-hmm.
about him, but yeah, I think he's basically like in European countries, like the anti-clause.
Yeah,
I
like if
guess.
you don't behave, he will come and eat you in the night.
Yeah,
Because Germans just do not fuck around.
they do. Not, it's like, yeah, like I mean, if there's any way to get your kids to behave, it's pure fear and terror that if they don't, they will be devoured by.
It's so medieval.
It
I
really
kind
is.
of love it.
It's like
This segment, by the way, co-written by Will Steven and Bowen Yang. And it's been a while since we've seen Bowen as a wacky character on Update, which
it
it was
has.
kind of nice to see that again. It's been a while.
It has. I mean, like, how long has it been? Like, I mean, I know there was, of course, the iceberg and
We did the iceberg.
the Oompa Loompa one,
Oh yeah,
but
that might have been the last time. I don't know.
might have been. But it definitely
Yeah.
it's been a minute, and I do enjoy like how he played Krampus as sort of like almost like himself. Like, yeah, I've been doing this for a while, and people just don't
Hmm.
respect me. Like, and like I like the runner of him like quoting celebrities he's heard of. Like, Bennett Brown had this great quote about shame that really resonated with me. Like little things like that, and I think at one point he quotes a SZA song.
Yeah, yeah. Um, he said at one point, like, you ever watch TV for 5 hours straight, and then like you wake up out of the trance and you've eaten 40 kids? Just really funny. And I mean, they had the thing where he's wearing very extensive makeup. I mean, it's just an impressive uh, prosthetics. Again, I mean, it's and I saw on the Instagram of SNL's makeup artist, he's like a Louis FX, I think.
Okay.
He said like we had 5 minutes to put this on Bowen. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible, but again, it also shows a little bit because midway through his segment, one of the horns, the prosthetic
Yes,
horns, falls right on off.
falls right off, and it and Bowen just rolls with it beautifully. I mean, he was just like, "Oh, I'm so mad, I'm losing my horn."
Yeah, he's
Uh,
like, "Oh, I'm sick. I've been sick."
yeah, um, and like towards the end, we find out that his therapist is Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yes, I like.
A
Yeah,
nice bizarre touch towards the end. I mean,
yeah,
just wow.
yeah. 'Cause I think Colin's like, "Wait, Jelaine, she's not dead," and he's like, "No, she commutes. It's fine."
Yeah, she commits. She commits, Colin. Uh, I mean, very funny stuff. Very strong character, and yeah, I mean, Bowen just he knocks these things out of the park.
He really does. He's like he's such a natural in front of the camera, and like
Hmm.
he's able to sort of make these
Yeah,
like odd characters like find a
and just
find a funny in these
yeah,
ghoulish characters and whatnot.
and just rant in them. Like he's sort of the character, but they're all also him somehow, which is it's kind of fun. It's a nice weird thing to pop up and update, which I really like.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, so next up we got Colin's great aunt Pat coming out.
I think it's Colin's great
Colon,
aunt.
yes, that
Yeah.
yes. You know what? I
Yes.
apologize. Thank you.
This is Heidi Gardner as his great aunt Pant, supposedly talking about holiday etiquette, but it's really just about her being inappropriate. Like
Yes,
lots of kissing on the lips, lots of patting on crotches, and
yes. Mikey Day comes out as her butler, and
yeah,
and he's doing it because he's not in a lot of sketches this episode, and he needs money for Christmas presents.
yeah. First of all, I love the concept that SNL cast members get paid by the sketch. That's kind of hilarious. It's like, oh, you're only in 2 sketches this week. Well, you'll be getting $40.
Yes, it's like writers who get paid by the letter.
Right, exactly. Um, and I mean that's terrific. And also, like, Heidi, just she at one point wants to apply lipstick, so she makes Mikey put on the lipstick and then kiss her, and then like she makes out with Colin, and then she makes Mikey and Colin. She tries to get them to make out. Being an SNL cast member just must be like having an incestuous relationship with your sibling.
Yeah, it's got to
It's
be
just,
weird. Like in one sketch, you're making out with somebody, and the next sketch, they're your sister or brother.
yeah, yeah, and I'm sure they bond really quickly because it's just such a intense, high pressure environment.
Yeah,
And I'm sure most of them do have, like, close friends or brother sister type relationships. So it's got to be weird when it's, because at some point probably everybody's going to make out with everybody else in a sketch or do
yeah,
something, or it's like that Kate McKinnon character. Now kiss.
yeah, yeah. It gets weird. SNL After
Yeah,
Dark.
like one quote that has always stuck with me was Amy Poehler talking about how they all have to do like quick changes, like right off stage in little uh, curtained off areas, and Amy Poehler just said, "Yeah, we've all seen each other's kibbles and bits,"
Mm.
and I was just like, "What a way to put it."
It's yeah, no
Yeah.
modesty if you're working on SNL. Like
Well, I mean, and that's very much the case in theater a lot of times too. Is just,
yeah,
yeah, it's just, yeah, screw it. You're seeing me with my shirt off, or you're seeing me in my underwear. Whatever, grow up.
you're gonna see some butts. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Gonna see some butts, boobs,
yeah.
dong. Gonna see it all
Those are all body parts. Yes,
in that order. That's what you're gonna see.
in that order. Yeah, that's contractually guaranteed. You will see those things in that order.
Yup.
If you don't see all those things by your third week, you get a bonus.
Ooh.
That's weird. That's a weird contractual thing.
Yeah, it's odd, but I like it.
Yeah. I liked it towards the end where Great Aunt Pat just said, "Your TV Muppets."
Yeah, because like Colin called her out, like I think you just want to come on here and like fondle Mikey and kiss movie stars,
Yeah,
and she's like,
yeah,
"You're not movie stars."
yeah, yeah. Your TV. I mean, uh, I like this. This was good, funny stuff, and yeah,
Yeah, it was all
it was a
right,
neat
but
character.
part of me, like I think halfway through it, I was kind of like, "Are we getting this instead of the joke swap?" Because I really want the joke swap.
I miss the joke swap, and they just seem to have stopped that. And even in last night's 10 p.m. rerun, they did a joke swap because it was from a couple years ago, and it was just a couple jokes. It wasn't that many, and yeah, I guess they've kind of gotten away from that. They didn't do it at the end of. They didn't do it last Christmas. They didn't do it at the end of last season. I think the joke swap is no more.
I
Maybe on their very last show as weekend update anchors.
I was just about to say that. Like I think at
Yeah,
this point, we're not gonna get another joke swap until their very very last
yeah,
episode when like Jost and Che decide to hang it up. I mean, I thought this was okay, but like part of me was like, I really wanted that. I really wanted that joke swap.
yeah. I hear you. I hear you. I missed it too.
Okay, but yeah, but instead of a joke swap, we get a final performance by Carrie Ann.
Promised myself I wasn't going to cry.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's billed on YouTube as Kathy Ann says goodbye for now.
Oh, it's Kathy Ann. I always say Carrie Ann.
Kathy,
I don't know
you
why.
do,
My
you
mistake.
do, you
My
did.
mistake. My mistake.
Yeah, you're bad at your job.
Yes,
Um,
I never claimed to be good.
and yeah, so it's basically like Cecily getting to talk about departing SNL in a veiled way through one of her characters, and she says like, "Oh, I'm going to prison for all the crimes I've confessed to over the past 7 years. They finally caught up with me." Um,
Yeah, yeah. I think she like every episode she talked about some uh, some criminal drug fueled activity she was engaged
right.
in.
Because like the premise of Kathy Ann was like she was Che's neighbor, if I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So that,
not my favorite Cecily character, but I'm glad she got to do it. I'm assuming this was her choice.
yeah, because like I thought like when I heard that she was gonna this was gonna be her last episode, I thought, all right, so then like what's gonna be her final
Mhm.
character? Like I thought she might do the girl you wish you never had started a conversation with at a party or
Right.
something like that, but like.
or revive Gemma one
Yeah,
last time or something like. I think like last year when it was seeming like she was going to leave, I think she did Gemma on that show, and then she also did the big Janine Pirro in the box of wine thing, and that seemed like such a goodbye sketch because she's saying, I did it my way.
yeah.
So, tough to top that. So maybe she just decided to go a little smaller.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. And
Yeah,
but yeah, like I thought, yeah, like this was her ending it with Kathy, and I think that was
yeah.
definitely the way to go. I liked
What
how,
about ending it with Carrie Ann?
yes, exactly. It's not Carrie Ann Moss or anything like
Right, with Carrie Ann Moss, just reenacting the Matrix for no reason.
that.
Yes,
Just dodging bullets, just woo
just
woo.
dodging bullets and
Uh, but yeah, like I thought, yeah, the Kathy Ann was definitely the way to go. I like she didn't seem sad about going to prison. She
yeah,
because she has friends on the inside. Cut to a picture of Kate Nady in
yeah.
with prison tats and wearing wearing prison jumpsuit.
The orange jumpsuits.
Yeah, which I thought, oh, that's a nice touch. That
That
was
was that was nice because she was giving her buddies a shout out.
yeah.
And yeah, so this was good. Not my favorite Cecily character. If you'd like come to me beforehand and said, you can see any one of Cecily Strong's characters for the last times, I don't think Kathy Ann would have been the one I picked. But
Yeah,
hey, if that's the one that Cecily wanted to do, I'm glad she got to do it.
yeah. No,
And
I get you.
this was co-written between Cecily and Kent Sublette, by the way.
Right.
So
I also liked a few other things, like when she talked about how, how she used to host the weekend update with Colin, and they put up a picture of
mhm,
her and Colin hosting, and I think
right,
and then Che said, "Wow, what you look so different back then," and she
yeah.
shoots back with that. You still look different young back in the day too. You turned into Obama here with your grays,
Yeah, yeah.
which
I mean, and it's weird to think. I don't. It's tough for me to think of how long that literally was because it was still Colin. Like Colin came in when she co-hosted Update with Seth Meyers for a little while,
right,
and then Seth left the show, and then that was when Colin came in,
yeah,
and we all had fun starting the cancel Jost movement,
yes,
um,
that was a
which
fun time.
that was so effective, by the way. It was the release the Snyder cut of its day. Um, but I mean, when I think about it as like, oh yes, she co-hosted Update with Seth Meyers. That points out how long ago it was. When you say like she co-hosted it with Colin or co-anchored it with Colin, I mean that doesn't seem that long ago because Colin is still there, but he's the longest tenured Weekend Update anchor, him and Jay. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it is weird to think how long they've been there, because like if you go
yeah,
back to them, they're like, young and thin and fresh faced, and now like they both
yeah.
have, the grays are coming in, and Shay's a little fuller. It's like, wow,
Okay, well let's critique how they're aging even more.
they are aging horribly, girlfriend. Mm-mm.
I cannot toss stones there.
Yeah, you know what? As I look in this mirror, I'm like, oh
My beard is almost fully white now, people. So
boy,
it's been a rough couple of years. That's all I'm saying.
absolutely.
Um,
So yeah, I also liked how at one point, like, Cecily kind of almost drops the Kathy Ann persona, and she talks in a real
yeah,
voice, saying like, how she's gonna miss her time here, and like
yeah,
she goes in and out of the character a little bit towards the end, which I
yeah,
thought was very heartfelt, and then, of course she gave a nod to when she's saying as Janine Pirro, "I did it my way," saying it, "I did it high, Che," at the end.
yeah. So it was a bit of a callback. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, and then of course she hugs Che and hugs Colin, and yeah, that's the end of Kathy Ann.
End of Kathy Ann, and we're getting close to the end of Cecily Strong's tenure on the show. By the way, show is at this point 2/3 over. Disturbing lack of dogs.
Yeah, like they couldn't get some dogs at the last minute. I mean, it's New York City. There's got to be some strays running around here somewhere.
Look, I mean, I know Cecily has to have brought her dog Lucy to the studio at least a few times. I mean,
Exactly. Like
she's always in the opening with her.
yeah, or like I'm sure there's some like emergency, in case of emergency, break glass here,
Right.
dogs that they could just
They
whip out.
really shouldn't keep those dogs in that airtight glass container.
There are
I mean,
holes.
they've well. I'm just saying SNL has suffocated a lot of dogs.
That's what they don't want you to know about.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, it takes a certain amount of suffocating dogs to put on a late night comedy show, but SNL takes it to extremes sometimes.
Hey, John. If you want an omelet, you're gonna have to suffocate some dogs.
But I talked about this on Twitter last night, but I think if I remember correctly, this was like my one interaction with Cecily Strong on Instagram. I commented, I think I was commenting on, she posted about, I think it was that sketch where she was the judge in dog court.
Oh
And it
yeah,
was basically just her playing with dogs. And I was like, if they just rebranded SNL as Cecily Strong plays with pups for 90 minutes, I would still 100% watch it. And she was like, I would love that. So,
yeah.
and of course, that made my day because I was like, "Yay, Cecily Strong replied to my comment! Yay!"
Yeah. Oh wow, that dog court sketch. That still
Yeah.
to this day. That
So I was hoping for something like that, just because I know that she is such a dog person, and it fills my heart with joy to see Cecily Strong and cute puppies.
yeah, that pug was just squirming around like a greased
Oh,
pig.
I got to rewatch that.
It's that pug did not want to be there.
No, but it's so freaking adorable. All right,
Next up, White Elephant.
White Elephant. This is a holiday party where they're doing. I guess it's called the White Elephant Gift Exchange. I've always heard it as Yankee Swap.
Yeah,
How do you?
it's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, but it's also known as a White Elephant. I guess it's a regional thing.
I've heard both. I've heard both.
Okay, okay. Have you ever been to a Christmas party where they've done that?
Uh, Maybe once or twice, but like I'd never. It seems kind of dumb to me. I don't know. Just give me the damn gift. Why do we have
I
to
think
play?
it is because like you have to buy a gift that's like kind of neutral that most anybody can enjoy, and half the point of gift giving is doing something personalized.
Yeah, like why do we have to play this game of this fucking musical chair shit where like, oh no,
Yeah,
I want your gift and you got to take another gift and you can take somebody else. Just give me a gift. Let's have a drink and fucking call it a night.
yeah. Let's have a freaking conversation or something. I
Yeah,
mean, just
man.
like I went to, I think it was one holiday party where they did this with everybody, and I think there was no limit on how many times you could exchange, and then there's one gift. There's always that one gift that everybody fixates on that's going all around the room, and it's traded constantly, and it took forever. It was like at least an hour of this party
Oy.
doing this because like there had to be over 20 people there,
Oof.
and it was just like, oh, I never want to do this again, man.
You've killed my Christmas spirit.
And not a long trip for me. So yeah, this sketch was triggering for me, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I got Yankee Swap PTSD.
Yeah. Just breaking out in the cold sweat.
Yeah. So it's a bunch of couples. Austin, he's very excited by the ashtray that he gets. He's like, "Oh, this is going to be so handy. I can put it by my door, and I can put all my keys and things in there." And then, of course, Cecily steals his gift first chance she gets.
Yeah, and he is not happy.
He's not happy. He can't exchange it or steal it back. So, he's bitching about that. And then Mikey Day shows up as Santa Claus towards the end. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
there wasn't much to this sketch, but I will
there
admit,
wasn't a whole lot there. I
yeah,
didn't think
I will admit, Austin Butler, like gave a good performance here. Like I
he
think,
threw himself into it. Yeah,
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 like I think at one point, because Ego got a scented candle, and he
mhm.
said, "Well, yeah, it makes sense that she gets to keep her gift because like we all know her house stinks."
Right,
Like
right.
like I don't know. Yeah, like I feel like Austin Butler came to play. He brought some energy to it, but yeah, overall, I was like, there's not much to this sketch other than the fact that he's upset and pouty that somebody stole his Christmas gift, and I don't know. I feel like I needed a little something more to make this sketch like truly work. I thought.
Yeah, I just thought it was an kind of sketch. So it didn't really send me elevated a bit by the performances, but I just yeah, I could kind of see where it was going to go very, very quickly. As soon as I was like, oh, they're doing a gift exchange. Oh, well, one person's going to be upset that the gift they like is taken away. And,
Yeah.
yep, it was pretty much what I expected down the line.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's kind of you think you know what's going to happen, and you're right. It is exactly that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I found it a little predictable. I'm afraid.
Yeah, and the little twist end with Mikey getting Austin's character like a new or ashtray for a catch-all, but it's jet black
but it's
because
black.
it's his favorite color,
Yeah,
jet black.
midnight black. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was like, all right, well that's interesting, but
yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah, it didn't quite get there for me.
yeah. It didn't really send me.
Next
All
up,
right,
we got a pre-tape, my friend.
another pre-tape. This is called Jennifer Coolidge is impressed by Christmas stuff, which yep, boy, it's one of those sketches where we're putting the premise right in the title.
Yep, that's it, and it's Chloe Fineman just showcasing her Jennifer Coolidge impression, which is a solid impression.
Yeah, a solid impression, and those Jennifer Coolidge Old Navy commercials have been obnoxiously omnipresent the last month or two.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Oh, I mean, it's just
like
Kansas season part. Giving.
yeah, like
I just go diving for the mute button when that comes on.
it's getting to the point where I'm starting to not like Jennifer Coolidge just because of that commercial, and I know it's not.
Yeah, I generally like Jennifer Coolidge, but a little of her goes a long, long
Yeah,
way.
I know it's not her fault that the commercials just get overplayed, but somebody needs to stop that shit.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they got to stop after Christmas, right? We've only got about another week.
Yeah, I think after Christmas we're safe. Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully,
just
fingers crossed.
it's just.
But yeah, then we see kind of Chloe do her Jennifer Coolidge impression, giving
Yeah,
Coolidgeisms. Like, oh wow, you know what the ultimate stocking stuffer is? A foot.
yeah, and it's exactly the type of things that Jennifer Coolidge would say in a Christopher Guest mockumentary. I
Right.
liked when Michael Longfellow is just playing Jingle Bells on the piano, and she's like, "Oh, that's great. Did you write that?" And he's like, "Jingle Bells? No," and he plays it beautifully.
Yeah, she's like, oh, then who did? It's like, I don't know, some guy.
Yeah, yeah. And then she freaks out over eggnog, and she says like, "Oh, it's like." Did she say it was like God's cum?
Santa.
Santa's cum. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah.
They loop out the word cum, of course, but
Yeah, because guess you can't say that on.
can't say it on late night TV. Podcast, totally cool.
Mm-hmm.
Totally
That's
cool.
right.
And then she's freaking out over a menorah, and I'm like, wait, the title of the sketch is she's impressed by Christmas stuff. A menorah is not Christmas stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a mistake by the Jennifer Coolidge character or if it was a mistake by the writers.
I think somebody on the writing staff just really wanted that joke in there. That
I guess I was just like, wait, a menorah is Christmas. I, I'm assuming they have to know.
yeah, it's like, oh, she thinks it's birthday candles, but it's not Christmas though. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, there was funny stuff. It was a good impression, and it didn't overstay its welcome. It's only like a couple minutes, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's not too long. Just gets in and out. You get to see the impression, and it's like, all right, this
Mm-hmm.
is cute enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
overall,
yeah,
like I prefer this way of showcasing her impressions rather than like what we got last week with that whole weekend update that segment she did with Mikey. Like
yeah.
this felt a lot more better, a lot more focused, and just focused on one impression that she does. Like this one wasn't too bad. This one I thought was pretty cool.
Yes. It. Yeah, yeah.
did I flummox you with my word? What happened there?
My brain went to the punch bowl for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. This was written by Mike DiGiacenzo, Chloe Feynman, and Jake Nordwind.
Mm-hmm.
So
And next up we got another pre-tape.
another pre-tape, 2 pre-tapes in a row. People have lots of time off backstage.
Back to back.
Because I think after this we had Lizzo's second musical number, so it was probably like a half hour where people were just doing nothing.
Yeah, they were off to holiday parties.
Yeah, I know.
Sweet.
They were like, "What? We got to go back into the studio for good nights." Oh, fuck.
You see somebody stumble in holding a bottle of whiskey.
You're right. Yeah.
Good night.
Somebody's got a beer bong.
Good night, everybody. Happy holidays.
But yeah, it was very pleasant to see Please Don't Destroy pop up.
Yeah, Plurts.
Plurts, where they're talking with the week's host, Austin Butler. Forgot his name for a second.
Wow.
He hadn't been on in a little while. I had the whole 2 minutes of the Jennifer Coolidge thing to forget about him. And they spill wine on their white shirts, and then they're like, "Oh no, what can we do? How can you prevent it? There's got to be a better way." And then Martin comes in. He's wearing a plastic shirt, a plurt, where spills and stains wipe right off.
Right. So it's just basically them. Oh, we should also mention real quick. So the Jennifer Coolidge sketch that was actually.
I mentioned who wrote it.
Oh, but did you mention also it was actually supposed to appear in the last week's Steve Martin short episode, but it got cut.
I did not mention that, but you've mentioned that now, so I don't have to.
Yeah. Ha.
So
That's right. I got your back, bro.
all right, yay.
But yeah, so it's basically the Please Don't Destroy boys trying to get Austin Butler to invest in this fabulous new product called Plurt, a very stiff plastic shirt that
Right.
doesn't look good at all or comfortable, and but it doesn't get stains on it.
Like if you saw this on a doll, it would look cheesy.
Yes, absolutely.
But seeing it on grown men, yeah, kudos to the SNL costume department, man. I mean, you do any sort of late night comedy show, I'm sure the props people and the costume people have to make all sorts of weird stuff on very short notice, and
Yeah,
yeah, they did a great job.
yeah, they pull it off, and so they try to get Austin to invest some money. They Googled him, so they know he has the money.
Right. We find out that he's like, well, if you have no money, how did you start this company? And Martin's like, oh no, I'm dating Lizzo, and she was our initial angel investor.
Yes, and then Lizzo comes in a Plurt shirt.
Yeah,
Devin Walker comes in plastic plants.
yeah,
Marcelo has a plastic hat.
yeah, which is making him go bald because they got the plastic out of a landfill.
Landfill in New Jersey again,
Yeah,
Jersey slander.
yeah, yeah.
And
Um,
yeah, and it's
just the typical funny, bizarre, very surreal. Please don't destroy stuff. I just want. I like that when they go. Oh, we need the money, man. We make $30 a video.
part of me was like, is that true?
I hope it's not true. But I mean, Mikey Day was hard up for money during update. The Please Don't Destroy guys are making $30 a video. What the hell are you paying these people, Lauren?
Are you guys getting pennies on the dollar over there at SNL? What the fuck?
They have to live in New York City, damn it.
My God.
But this was fun. It's a fun thing. It was so funny. I almost didn't mind that we didn't get a Cecily dog thing.
Yeah.
No, I take that back. I do mind.
They should have bought. I hope that they would just like unleash like a whole bunch of dogs like the end of that Weezer video.
Yes,
the sweater song.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the dream.
That's the dream. That's how I'm going to go out.
That's how I want to go out. Yeah, just buried by puppies.
That's right. It's the good way. It's the best way to go, as far as I'm concerned.
They should do that. There's that YouTube thing, and I forget who does this, but they have people answer interview questions or questions from the internet when they're playing with puppies, and it's always adorable.
It warms your heart.
That warms your heart, and somebody should get Cecily Strong to do that because that would be awesome. That should be her first new project after leaving SNL.
Right. And speaking of leaving SNL, we've come to the end of the show. The final sketch, Blue Christmas.
Blue Christmas. This was co-written by Colin Jost, Will Steven, and Kent Sublette, where we come up with Cecily and Keenan, and then the four newish cast members. They say it's Cecily's last day at Radio Shack, and she's leaving us after 8 incredible years. And Cecily points out, "Well, I've been here for 11." And Keenan says, "Yes, and 8 of them have been incredible."
Hello.
So that's good. And then we have Austin Butler come out as casual Elvis because they chose not to spring for the full costume, and he sings "Blue Christmas."
Yeah,
as a goodbye to Cecily.
And
people come out and hug.
Yeah, so it very much sort of mirrored. Not very much, but almost mirrored like Kristen Wiig's final episode.
Which I know Colin Jost wrote or co-wrote that as well.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so it's basically, but basically it was like just everybody in the cast saying goodbye to her. And back in Kristen Wiig's case, it was like they got Mick Jagger to sing "She's a Rainbow" for her.
She's a Rainbow, and then they segued into Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Arcade Fire was a musical guest that week. So it's Mick Jagger, Arcade Fire, and from the Foo Fighters.
Oh, Grohl?
Yeah, Dave Grohl was there too.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. All right.
He's in there. I looked up the video on Reddit yesterday. It's Dave Grohl was there. Amy Poehler pops up. Maya Rudolph was there. Chris Kattan was there. Rachel Dratch was there. John Hamm is there. I mean, lots of people came out to say goodbye to Kristen Wiig that night.
Holy Toledo!
Yeah. So I don't know. I have kind of mixed feelings on the Blue Christmas thing.
It was definitely a lot more low key, a little bit more muted.
It was a little more maudlin, and the Kristen Wiig thing was so much more celebratory.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. I mean, I did like it, but yeah, it was very more kind of low key, very emotional. Blue Christmas is a very slow, kind of sad song. Whereas,
and it's one of those semi-depressing holiday songs.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it fits the vibe of the holiday because Christmas can be really great or really depressing with not necessarily a whole lot in between.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just what Cecily was feeling. But
I don't know. But yeah, I think with Kristen, it was more like upbeat, kind of almost like a New Orleans festival, like where it was like more like, hey, let's celebrate this final time with her. Whereas this one was more like, oh, she's leaving. Oh no.
Yeah. So it was ending it on a bit of a down note, which I'm not too nuts about,
Yeah, it was definitely more down. Still very emotional. Of course, Cecily cried. People, of course, her and
Colin seemed very choked up.
Yeah, her and Colin hugged it out, and there was
Colin
and Jost, and it was so emotions were high, but it definitely.
And I'm sure people were very raw.
Yeah,
and it's
sometimes I do enjoy moments like that, like those few moments in SNL where you see a cast member not being a character, not doing something for like a shtick or like or a gag, and you see like them having a very honest, real moment. Like things like that do tug at my heartstrings, I will admit.
Yeah. I've said before, I generally like this. I prefer the show to be funny than sentimental or maudlin. And I feel like when they do go that way, they make a little too much of a meal out of it. Like the hallelujah after Hillary lost the presidency.
But I know what you mean. Like, I mean, they included a few jokes here, like the 8 Great Years joke when Austin Butler came out saying, "Hey, Cecily, I know I only known you for 1 week, but I feel like I've known you for 2 weeks."
Yeah. It just, how can it not, if you have anybody after Mick Jagger and you're doing a similar thing, how can it not seem a come down, especially when it's fake Elvis?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
know.
And oddly, this sketch was 45 years to the day of Elvis Costello playing Radio when he wasn't supposed to on SNL.
Still one of the most punk rock moments in not even SNL history. I would say like TV history.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of the great live TV moments, I think. And look it up if you haven't. It's great, and it's if you just see Elvis Costello looking off to the side, kind of pissed off, and the legend has it that young Lorne Michaels was just giving him the finger from right off camera.
Yeah, so, I get it, because like this totally fucks up with the timing of the show, and it's he was told not to do it, and he's just like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And
and he he did it, and he's banned from the show for 12 years.
Still, it's pretty legendary. Pretty
legendary, pretty punk rock. And yeah. So, my dream would have been Elvis Costello comes out to wish Cecily Strong goodbye. I guess that's what I'm saying.
That would be nice.
Because it would have been like two of my favorite people on stage together.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Cecily and Elvis, you might have had a heart attack.
I would have exploded. I would have legit exploded.
Elvis Costello, Cecily Strong, and puppies. My lord.
And puppies. And then Batman. Batman comes out for no reason.
They drive off in the Batmobile.
Yes.
A Batmobile full of puppies.
A Batmobile full of puppies. They're all masked like Ace the Bat Hound. Yeah. No, I've got it now. Okay, I'm writing my own goodbye sketch for Cecily Strong now.
A Batmobile full of puppies with Cecily Strong, Elvis Costello, and an REM song plays in the background,
Sure.
or the Monkees. Either
Sure.
either or.
Sure. I'm a simple man.
Yeah, and then that's the episode. Like,
That's the episode. We had the goodbyes. We had lots of hugging and stuff. I don't know. How'd you feel about the episode overall?
overall, I thought it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe it's because it was such an emotional episode because
Mm-hmm.
we learned hours beforehand this would be Cecily's last episode. So maybe like I'm giving a little bit more of a great,
Rating it on a curve.
yeah, just because of that, because of the emotionality on it.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some sketches that didn't quite hit, like the white elephant and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but overall, I think most of the sketches hit. I think Austin Butler, like you said, exceeded our expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, overall, I'm pretty positive on this final episode. I'd say.
I think it was a decent episode overall. I mean, there was some stuff I really liked, like the "It's a Wonderful Life" parody, Christmas Epiphany. Uh, Stuff I hated, like the marzipan.
Mhm.
I wish there had been a little bit more of a victory lap for Cecily Strong. I would have liked to have seen her drive at least one more sketch or maybe revisit one of her old characters, but maybe she didn't want to do that. Maybe she just wanted to have a more low key goodbye,
Yeah,
and
that's true. I see what you're
I'm
saying.
assuming it was her choice. Um,
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I mean, they sang to her at the end, and she got to do Kathy Ann
yeah,
one more
yeah.
time. So,
No, it's just I can't help but compare it a little with when Kristen Wiig said goodbye, and I think she revisited so many of her old characters on that last night. So
I gotta go back and watch. I don't remember too
yeah,
much, but yeah,
I'm pretty sure she did like Target Lady and the actress who does the password type show and
okay,
all that. It was a lot of Kristen Wiig. I mean, she
yeah,
was pretty much dominating the show by the time she left.
yeah. And
So
I will admit that Kristen Wiig, the She's a Rainbow, that was that was almost too big. Like the like,
well, it at the time it seemed like why is she getting a bigger goodbye than anybody else has ever gotten?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that
but
yeah,
I mean, looking back on it, it was really great. It was a really great moment. So
yeah.
I
That's
can't
true.
really begrudge him.
That's true. Like, I think it's like what you said. Like, I think at the time, people were like, Sudeikis just left, and Andy Samberg.
No, I found this out. Sudeikis left later. I was thinking that was his last show,
Oh,
but no, I looked it up, and Sudeikis left later.
yeah, but he didn't get a big goodbye. Samberg didn't
That's true.
didn't get one. Hader didn't get one. But like for
Yeah,
Kristen Wiig, we have to like pull out all the stops and
yeah. See, that's the thing is it makes kind of the hierarchy of the cast members really clear. You know?
yeah, and I don't know how I quite feel. I mean, I guess you could say, well, it's Kristen Wiig, and she sort of does deserve it, but at the same time, it's like you're kind of saying other cast members don't or are lesser, and I'm like,
Yeah, and
I don't know if I want to come out and say that.
yeah. It is a little weird.
It is, it
It's a
is,
little weird.
but overall,
You're right.
I thought this was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
shall we go to the old Twitters and see
Let's go
what?
to the Twitters. Let's see what the people think because we're a democratic podcast.
That's right. It is a democracy here. This
So
ain't Twitter. I mean, it is, but it ain't.
it is for. Oh God, where the? Okay, wait. I know we've reserved a few possible places. We might land somewhere else if Twitter goes belly up. So
Yes, we don't worry, people.
we
We have life vests and a life raft in place to
right,
go to.
right. Anyway, okay. We'll talk about that when the time comes.
Yes.
So right, first, our friend Manette Marati says Cecily leaving is bittersweet for me. I started watching SNL Weekly in season 40, which means except for Keenan, everyone who I originally watched in high school is now gone. I'm feeling really confident about the show moving forward if they keep inserting the chaos in like tonight.
Mm.
And then she follows up. Okay, forgot about Colin and Shay still being there, but the gut punch nostalgia still stands. Yeah, it's kind of easy to forget about them just because they're usually just on update.
Yeah, but
Um,
I feel like it's only a matter of time before they go too, right? Like they gotta.
I feel like we're close. We're certainly closer to the end than the beginning for those guys.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um,
Like if they don't, this has got to be their last season, right? Like, what
I
would you
feel like
think?
it's got to be. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if they don't leave at the end of this season. I feel like they're both kind of itching to do other things.
Yeah, I think I mean, no
I
one's they
mean,
haven't said anything, but like if I had to place, if I was a betting man, I would say this is the end of the road, to quote Boys to Men.
for no other reason, Colin's married with like a young kid, and I assume they're bringing up. Scarlett Johansson has at least one other kid, I think, right?
I don't know about that.
I know she was pregnant during Age of Ultron,
Oh, all right, so maybe she does have another
so
kid.
that kid's uh, what, 6 now?
Yeah, I
Maybe
guess.
something like that. Right, math. Okay. Um, but yeah, Manette raised kind of an interesting question for me. I was thinking like, oh wow, that's for her, it's hitting kind of hard because it is very end of an era because it's somebody from her first cast leaving, and it got me to thinking like, well, who is the last person to leave from the first cast that we were watching? And I looked it up before we started recording because we both started watching SNL regularly during the Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks years.
Yep.
And it looks like the last person out of that bunch, or the last people who left, were Kevin Nealon, who left in 1995, and Mike Myers.
Yeah, like that.
And
That's was the start of the Chris Elliott, Janine
right,
Garofalo era, which was
right,
oof.
right. And Mike Myers, he was kind of like, I remember when he was the new guy on SNL. He was like the fresh faced young fellow, and he was the first person they'd added in a few years. So
Yeah.
for a long time, I thought of Mike Myers as the new guy, the new kid. And then he did that Wayne's World thing, and he kind of broke out.
Yeah.
He did well for himself. But yeah, I think it would be, it was definitely it felt like end of an era when Dana Carvey or Phil Hartman left. I'd say that they had similar impacts to Cecily leaving for me.
Yeah, I would say that. Like, it definitely feels like I don't know, like the last of the people that you grew up with is like leaving home in a way, where it's like, oh, this is like a whole new thing now. And then of course later on when we got the entirely new cast of Will Ferrell, Sherry O'Terry, and Molly
Mm-hmm.
Shannon and whatnot, then it became like a whole new crop of
Yeah,
actors.
that was a clean break. I mean, even though like a couple people like David Spade and Norm Macdonald stuck around,
Right.
it was literally like I think 3 people carried over from the old cast, so it was much more of a clean break. And then since then, we've had sort of people smoothly transitioning in and out. Um,
Right.
and every once in a while, I'm like, oh yeah, those 2 people were in the cast at the same time. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like even when I went back and looked at old um uh Cecily Strong sketches, I was like, oh yeah, she was on the show at the same time as Vanessa Bayer. They were the ex porn stars. I
Right.
totally forgot about that. I don't know
Yeah,
why,
because
but
Vanessa Bayer left a decent amount of time ago, so yeah, you kind of it fades in the memory a bit.
yeah.
All right, so what else we got here?
Uh,
You want to read one?
sure. SNL Lytics gave responded saying, "This beautiful episode balanced the importance of Cecily to the show and the people behind it, with the reassurance that SNL can thrive without her. The funniest sketches didn't showcase Cecily, but she got her moments and allowed herself and the cast to be vulnerable, as always.
Yeah,
Not bad.
yeah, that's really nice.
Not bad. Not bad.
That's nice. Yeah, I think that's a good point. She did still have her moments, even if she didn't have like big showcases, and yeah, she did allow vulnerable moments, which she's gotten really good at in the last couple seasons of the show. I mean, the Goober the clown thing, and
yeah. That was
she was really writing and speaking from her heart, and that's another reason why I'm really excited to see where she goes next.
Yeah, because like I remember that came after she did the whole Janine Pirro singing
Hmm.
"My Way" and a vat of wine thing, and
Yeah,
we thought that would be her big goodbye. And then
yeah,
like she came back, and I was like, well, what? She's kind of done everything. What else can she do?
yeah,
Then she
yeah.
did.
And then she did that, and we were like, thank God she stayed.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I stand corrected.
Because yeah, I mean that is, I mean that was wonderful because it really balanced making the statement she wanted to make with the comedy, and I
Hmm.
mean that's really tough to do. But it was really impressive
Absolutely.
that she did that. So okay, our friend Mikey with 2 E's says, "Oh, my voice is going." He says, "Merry Christmas, guys! Weird one tonight that raised a lot of questions. Did anyone know Cecily was leaving? Yeah, we only found out a couple hours beforehand. Is this why they maybe switched last week with this week's hosts around?
Hmm.
Do we know for sure they did that?
We don't know for sure that they did that.
Yeah,
Like I think, because like I think we were talking about how the Steve Martin Short pair up seemed like more of a better way, to end.
to close out the year. Yeah,
Yeah, but I've just assumed that they couldn't do it because they had like scheduling issues, but
scheduling. Yeah,
but they never said that this is why they.
yeah. I think that's just something some people have theorized, but we don't know for sure. Um, he says, "What was up with Jost?" I guess he looked like he just seen his name on the naughty list all through Weekend Update.
Yeah. Oh.
Can't, I can't say I really noticed that. He looked normal.
He
I fixated on his hair a little
His
bit.
hair was a little bit more poofier than usual. Yeah.
It's very Bob's Big Boy.
it's
It's just it's like so short on the sides, and it's such a big ass pompadour up top. It's like
it's not quite
he
Ace.
looks like Captain Pike on Star Trek New
Yeah.
Voyages, or not Strange New Worlds.
Ooh, that's a deep cut.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not quite Ace Ventura, but
it's getting
it's
there.
getting it.
It's
It's in
getting
the
there.
family.
It's very Bob's Big Boy.
Hmm.
Okay, Mikey continues. And why was the episode such a mess? Seemed really sloppy all the way through and didn't feel like much of a Christmas episode. And missed the Weekend Update joke swap. Us too.
Hmm.
On a positive note, the pre-tape and Please Don't Destroy Us sketches were decent and enjoyed the cold open and monologue, but nothing else stood out.
Mm.
Overall, an emotional send-off for Cecily and sad to see her go, but I guess it's time and good to go out on a high. Apologies for the three-parter, but thanks to you guys for another great year of shows, and sad that John didn't get one last Cecily dog sketch that he wanted / needed.
Our fans really know us.
I feel seen. I feel seen. Thank you, Mikey.
Okay. Yeah, and we also got a tweet from Drew S. Rod at the SIE78 saying, good job, Austin Butler. Good job by Austin Butler. I can imagine him hosting again. Lizzo was great. She's becoming a go-to musical guest. Loved her in PDD. This was a good episode overall. Cecily is an all-time great. She deserves this send-off. She will be missed on screen, but who will do voiceovers now?
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's a
Yeah.
big thing where she was working almost behind the scenes, and once once you develop an ear for her voice, you see like she was doing so many voices
Yeah.
on pre-tapes and things.
I'm thinking maybe I don't know. Maybe Heidi can do it, or Ego, or Chloe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they certainly have the vocal capability, so it'll be. I mean, the show's going to be different. It's going to evolve
Yeah.
as it does.
As,
That's the nature of the beast.
yes, as it does.
Let's see. Our friend John Ananias at Burtonesque92 says this one wasn't going to be about the host. Butler was all in. Yep, was good. Jewish Elvis was a delight, and I fell hard for the lunacy of Marzipan. But the headline moments are the thinly veiled goodbyes to Hall of Famer Cecily, and I found Blue Christmas totally lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those are definitely the headline moments, and I think those are the things we're gonna take away from this episode of the show.
Yeah. Like I think the biggest takeaways from this episode are Austin Butler's exceeded our expectations and Cecily Strong all time great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course we got we got a tweet from our good friend Boardman gets paid. Lee Hot.
We got 2 tweets.
Yeah, 2 tweeters.
2-parter, baby.
2-hander. Hi everyone, happy holidays, and I hope everyone has a safe holiday and SNL break. I think when I got back into SNL, Cecily.
I'm assuming spell check's screwing him up there.
I'm assuming it is.
Sicily, the city in Italy, yes.
Was in her 2nd or 3rd season, and the brief moment when she was part of the Weekend Update. I'm really going to miss her. She was amazing. But I'm also excited to see which one of the new cast members are going to step up and become the Kate 80 Cecily combo. Also, I thought Austin Butler was all right. Christmas Epiphany was my fave sketch. Pimp Talk out.
Ooh, I like that sign off. Pimp Talk out.
I like it. We might take that from you, Lee Hot.
We may have to adopt that.
That's right.
Pimp Talk out.
Right. We may have to white elephant that there.
Yes. I don't know if we're badass enough to pull off Pimp Talk.
No.
Yeah, I would feel like a poser, but
I hear you. But
Pimp Talk out. I like that though.
But yeah, like I mean, now that Cecily is leaving, this does leave a vacuum for, cast members like Ego, Chloe, Heidi to like sort of really step up and step into the
Right.
role. I mean, I don't think they're gonna hire like a new cast member.
They don't really need to. I mean,
Yeah,
they got along decently the first three shows of the season without Cecily. I did feel her absence,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I am going to miss her going forward.
Yeah, but I think
But
yeah, but I think this might be the thing that the cast needs to like really kind of prove themselves and show who can rise to the ranks, as it were. So like
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing who does that. Like I mean, Ego's fantastic, Heidi is fantastic, Chloe's great. So I'm really looking forward to seeing like who's gonna like I'm looking forward to that one episode where we finally see somebody be like, oh, they stepped their game up. They're doing something.
like where they have a big battle royale, like the middle of Anchorman, and
Yes.
somebody stabs somebody else with a trident.
Yes. News team assemble.
Do you ever think about like if we got all the SNL cast together and we had a giant battle royale, who would be the last person standing?
If we're including everybody,
Yeah,
I'm
everybody at their peak.
I'm maybe Belushi because he's just a madman.
Okay, Belushi's a good choice. I'm thinking this is a bit of a dark horse. I'm thinking Rob Riggle because the man was a
Oh,
Marine.
damn it! You know what? You're probably right.
I think
I,
Riggle, he could probably like snap a lot of necks and stuff.
it probably is Regal. He'd probably like put on like dark ops war paint and just
Right,
and just hide.
right. He'd have those night goggles,
Yeah,
and yeah,
you see him hiding behind like two of the llamas backstage.
he'd get Lincoln and a showgirl on his side.
I could see that. Yeah, it might be Riggle. Yeah,
It might be Riggle.
yeah.
I-
Wow,
let's
that's
see.
a good one. That's a good choice.
I mean, Farley, he would probably do pretty well.
He's
He would whirl through like the Tasmanian devil.
he's quick on his feet. Yeah, give him
He's
that.
quick on his feet, surprisingly limber. So is Belushi.
Yeah, they are. But I
Uh,
don't know if Farley has the heart to do it, man. He's too kind hearted. I don't know if
yeah,
he has
true.
the dark enough soul to really.
Yeah, he would hug people, and then Schneider or Spade would stab them in the back.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know if he has the heart to snuff out Tim Kazurinsky or something like that.
I mean, who does?
Who does?
Who does?
I know I
Who
don't.
does? But it's an interesting question to contemplate. I
It
think.
is.
Who do you think would be the sole
Yeah.
survivor, or survival? Really, if you think about it, who would be the sole survivor in the SNL cast member
That's right.
battle royale? Let us know. Tweet at us at SNL Nerd Show.
Yes. Tweet us. Who do you think would survive the Royale? And let's know why. Maybe Leslie
Yeah.
Jones. She has the height.
Ooh, Leslie Jones.
Mm.
I was not thinking about Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones would go far.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
See. This is. Ooh,
She would.
this is.
It might come down to Leslie Jones versus Rob Riggle.
Oh my God. just as the prophecy foretold. Two men enter, one man leaves.
Oh my. Oh my.
And that's the episode, guys. Thanks for listening.
We have fun here.
Oh, we have fun.
We have fun. Oh, Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan would do something crazy. Tracy Morgan would do something crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill everybody.
I'm going to take all you out.
You're all gonna die tonight.
You're going down for this, Mitchell.
Liz Lemon.
Anyway, yeah. Let us know what you think on that question at the SNL Nerd Show on Twitter. You can also follow us on our individual Twitter pages for now. I'm at Trumbull Comic, TRUMBULL, and the word comic.
I'm at Darren Credible. That's DARIN Credible. Twitter and Instagram.
And let's see, when SNL comes back on the 7th, they're rerunning that Megan Thee Stallion episode.
Yeah, they're taking a little break. But we're not taking a break. We're still gonna be pumping out some episodes. Should we talk about what we have planned out for the Christmas app?
Well, yeah, it's always tricky when we think of like a Christmas or New Year's themed app, because we always want to. SNL's usually off. We want to pick something that ties in with the season, and Yeah, usually we can just do one a year. We've done Scrooge. We've done some other things. So what are we going to do this year?
Well, this year we found a movie that's both a Christmas movie and a New Year's movie.
Look at that.
And it's a movie that will be the final in the trilogy or quadrology of movies
Yeah.
we've talked about before. We've talked about the first Ghostbusters. We've talked about the Lady Ghostbusters. We've talked about
Yes.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now it's time to close the chapter on Ghostbusters. We're doing it. Ghostbusters 2.
Ghostbusters 2, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from 1989.
Oh, my Lord.
The original Ghostbusters getting back together, busting more ghosts.
That's right. Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, yes, with that Bobby Brown song.
Oh, that's it with the Bob son. What?
Oh, the Bobby Brown theme song, yes.
That shit was a straight banger, y'all.
So, yeah, we're going to have fun. We're actually recording that tomorrow. You guys won't hear it for another week, but we're recording it tomorrow. So, if you have comments about Ghostbusters 2, comment as soon as possible because we're recording that Monday night. So, yes, let us know. And then if we can, we will include those comments in the show.
Yes, get on that, like right now.
Yes, and we will have a very special guest to talk about Ghostbusters with us. Absolutely. Ghostbusters 2 with us.
Absolutely. And that'll be the last episode of 2022.
We did it!
Did it! Yay!
Woo! Another year over and deeper in debt.
That's the holiday spirit.
Yay!
Yay! I'm still so poor.
Really? Yes. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. So, and that's the episode, guys. Thanks again for listening as always. And I don't know how do we end this?
We'll see you. We'll see you for Ghostbusters 2 next week, and then we will see you in the new year. We're not going anywhere. We're still here. We're still standing.
Yeah. But until then.
Oh yeah, we have a sign off.
Son of a bitch.
I'm just sitting here waiting. It's like... So we will see you next week for Ghostbusters 2. But until then, nerds out.
Nerds out.
I totally like that we have a sign off for this show.
No, we're leaving that in. We are leaving that in.
Oh yeah, well, no, we 100% have to leave that in. I'm just sitting here.
Dum-de-dum-de-dum.
Oh, Frank will edit the music in later. It'll be fine. I don't have to say that thing I've literally said every show for the last 3.5 years.
Oh, John, never change. Never change.
Okay.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.